Hi guys. If you've joined, please mute yourselves. Yes, so that we can just have one meeting. Yes, thank you. My name is Esa Mwende, and I'll be taking you through gender equality in Kenya. And we shall be looking at the progress and the consequences that the progress that you've made and the challenges that you're still facing and how far we've come. And first of all, I'll just want to ask us, what is gender? I want to have an interactive session. So you can just raise your hand, you can just comment on the chat box, or you can just unmute and talk. So when you hear the word gender equality, what comes to your mind? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So what comes to your mind when you hear gender equality? Okay, thank you for confirming for the voice. So, okay, as Barrier Breakers Youth Initiative, we've been doing some progress to narrow the gap of gender equality among youth necessarily, and this one we've been doing through some of our programs that are aimed at promoting gender equality and also empowering people of all genders across all ages most of the time. And yeah, so we do this through education, advocacy, and through community engagement. And we do this to make sure that we achieve some progress and live fulfilling equitable lives. So what is gender equality? No sound. Okay. Slivian Ogur, can you hear me? I don't know. Hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so if you can't hear me via Facebook, please just, I hope you'll be because it's much better that way. Yeah. So gender equality refers to like having equal rights for same opportunities, equal opportunities, also treatment of people for genders. And that is like you don't have to be favored also because you're a woman. Also, you don't have to be like given special treatment and all that. And also like make priority because they have some aspects that are more like they have an advantage over us in some ways. And hi guys, we should just meet up when you join. Yeah, so I was saying like gender equality is the belief that all genders should have the same rights, opportunities, and treatment in all aspects of life. And they should not be limited to just education, employment, politics, and personal. It means that regardless of one's gender, you should have access to all the resources, the opportunities, and the decision-making power at home, in your community, and also like in the government. You know, it's quite like it's limited to just the employment life, and that's politics. And then it comes to your personal life, you have no decision-making power. It has to be equal in all aspects for you to feel like you're included, not even to feel like, for you to know that you're included. So gender equality recognizes that people and genders have different experiences. That is what I was talking about. And it also aims to eliminate discrimination and promote fairness and inclusivity. So what I mean is that biologically, we know that male and female, we are different. And that should not be used against us because that is biologically, and some of the things we cannot change. But what can happen is that we can be given the same opportunities, prove ourselves that we are capable of doing, we are doing the task at hand, but not just being discriminated because of our genders. Yes, freedom also I've seen people is to access resources, opportunities, regardless of gender, including economic participation, decision making, and the state. Yeah, thank you very much. And also, Jessie, thank you very much for contributing. I can see your message. Gender equality is when people of all genders are given equal opportunities, rights, and responsibility and opportunities. Thank you very much. So in Kenya, how far have we come, and what are we really doing to ensure that gender equality is something that we're working towards, and it's something that can be achieved in our country? So how do I say this? From family level, you can just see the inequalities in Kenya. And then that goes to education, employment, and also politics. And you've seen like the way women are treated and the way some opportunities are taken away from them because of ABCD, and also like we've seen also men not being given the when it comes to certain industries because they're also men. So inequality is still a major challenge in Kenya, and people have been working towards that. Education also, we've seen that in education, because people have been, please, if you join in, please just mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. I've seen education, we've seen like early marriages have been prohibited in Kenya so that girls can go back to school and learn. And also in workplace, like women are also paid the same as men for the same tasks. And also the representation of both male and female positions, they are filled equally and not just being given to one gender because of ABCD. So you've seen in politics that there's so much representation and underrepresentation of women in decision making, especially. And if you've been following the parliament nowadays, what I'm happy to see is that women from the Nyanza region, from Nyanza region, they are really speaking up in parliament, and they're really giving men the headache of knowing that they are there and they are there to take up the space, and not they're just there to just fill up the seats in the parliament. And if you don't watch parliaments, I don't know from all, but it's something that you just do to keep up with what's going on in women representation and also political representation. And also, so let's go to the first thing, like what's the progress that has been made in Kenya establishing gender equality? In the recent years, actually, we've seen significant improvement. first of all, the 2020 Constitution of Kenya guarantees equal rights for all citizens regardless of gender. That's one thing that should be noted. Like, if you lesser than another gender, that is violence of constitution, and that is something that should be taken up. And also, Kenya has ratified international agreements such as the CHEWARD, that is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And also several policies and laws have been put in place to ensure that gender equality is taken into account. And also that is Gender Equality Act 2011 and the National Policy for Gender Development 2019-2029. So you should follow up on that. And also Kenya has made significant progress towards promoting gender equality in recent years. That is, of course, you've seen the 2020 CHEWARD and also other policies. And now let's go to like certain aspects such as education, politics, cultural spaces, and see like how far we've come and how far we are going towards establishing gender equality. So in education, we've seen like, first of all, previously girls have been married off to the families to get the dowry to pay for the boy child's education. But actually this started in 2003 when Kibaki established pre-primary education, and he stated that all children have the right to be in school. And actually most of the students actually, if you were born at that time and you were enrolled in school that time, you could see the difference in like the enrollment because the numbers changed. And that is because, first of all, it was because the free education was made possible. That is one of the policies that Kibaki made sure of. And that made sure that even if your parents are poor, even if you can't be able to afford education, he made sure that it was free. So all that you do is just buy uniform and just send you to school. That is all that had to happen. And that is one of the things that has made significant improvement towards the education sector. And so many people actually have benefited from that because education has been kind of cheap, and that is primary education, also secondary education that has been made possible also because the government also paid a subsidy of some fees, so like we could pay the rest, and that was quite affordable for most of the people, you know. And also that is one of the like free primary program. That is one of the things that the government implemented in 2003, and that went all the way to secondary education. And also towards university, as you have seen, like there was the help which the government put in place to ensure that if you passed, you are able to still go back, continue with your tertiary education through providence of help.
Hey baby, I was still umempea yote shapa.
Sorry about that. If you join, please just mute up. And of course, education is still. Of course, everything that has a progress has some backwards, some challenges. Let me say some challenges, and that one is poverty. Like, if you just mute up. If you don't mute, I'm going to remove you because we just need to follow this through. It's not. They're just 7 slides, and you can just do this in less than an hour. Yeah, so let's just mute up. And if you have any questions, there's a chat box, and also you can raise your hand for that. Okay, what I was saying is that these are some challenges that have been affecting the education sector towards achieving gender equality, and all of them is poverty. As you like in the recent years, we've had a lot of drought, and this is one of the challenges in Kenya. We find that especially in the northern Kenya, where people are forced to move from one place to another to feed the animals, you find that you're not able to find water, and if you're not able to like have a meal, it becomes hard for you to go to school. You can go to school, you can't go to school every day when you're hungry because it becomes impossible to learn, even for you at home. If you're not hungry, if you're not well fed, it becomes a problem, and education stops becoming a priority for you. Food becomes the priority, and this one has made many people just drop out of school. In the recent years, we've seen increase in school fees, especially with the current government, and that has affected a lot of people actually with the state of the economy, because many people are not able to, with the same salary, they're not able to like pay the fees for the same for their children. And this one has, like, parents have been made to choose which child to go to school, and this one is, of course, is going to have an effect on gender, because some parents are going to feel like if a girl does this, it's going to be better, or if a boy does this, it's going to be better, and later on it's going to affect our community. In addition, we have early marriages, especially, let's say, in the drought or poverty stricken areas. We find that if you are so much poor and you want to put something on the table, girls are married off as young as 10 to wealthy older men, because those men have the resources, and these families need the resources for them to survive. So you find that the girls are married off early, and you've seen such documentaries actually happening for the happening of that. And you find that even as early as 9 or as early as 10, some of them are booked at birth. Like, unazaliwa hivi and you're booked already to be a wife of someone. When you get to a certain age, you just told to go to your husband, and you're still young, you're still understanding yourself, you still depend on your parents, but that time you're supposed to be someone's wife. So that is one of the reasons that we say this is a challenge to gender equality, because girls are denied the right to education, and that means that all their lives they've been denied so many opportunities to grow themselves. Okay, finally, on cultural beliefs, of course, you've said that boys are given priorities of girls, and this has affected the general achievement of gender equality in Kenya. So the next place we'll go to is, this next segment is employment. Gender equality in workplaces, they are not, as you've seen, like, even where you work at, even your universities, even your schools, and there is lack of women in leadership positions, and also women are discriminated against in recruitment, promotions, and also trainings. So what has the government done for ensure that gender equality has been established when it comes to employment? And this, the government has implemented several policies to address gender equality in workplace, such as the Employment Act of 2007 and also Gender Equality Bill of 2019. And in reality, actually, we see, like, if you're a woman working in, let's say, a company, when you get to a certain age, they say that's your giving birth age, and promotions no longer come your way because they expect you to get married off at that time or get children. So men who are the providers sometimes are given priority. And also, to wages, that has been also a problem, because normally say, like, a woman is provided for, but a man provides. So you find that some men in the workplace, like, men are paid more as compared to women. And you see, like, if you're taking the same tasks, the woman is being taken advantage of because she's a woman and she's doing the same thing as a man. And you also find that when it comes to certain careers, like, let's say, the STEM, the sciences, you'll find that the men are taken more serious than women, you know? Yeah, and that has been a major problem in Kenya. So, despite this, the Employment Act of 2007 mandates that equal pay for all genders, and it prohibits discrimination based on gender. It requires the employer to provide maternity leave. And these are actually several companies have taken up this act to a good level, that both male and female are given the maternity leave, so that the male can be able to take care of the female too. Because if your wife has given birth, she cannot be able to take care of herself and take care of the newborn and also do everything else. So you find that some companies they give both genders maternity leave, so that they can take care of each other, and also, like, they can be at a good space also to work. And actually, some companies too, like, they ensure that you can work remotely at that time. So it's a plus, but we're still getting there. And the Gender and the Equality Bill of 2019 seeks to promote gender equality, and that includes the workspace, of course. So, however, this implementation of these policies is a challenge because most employers, first of all, most employers are male, and as you know, the patriarchy system, it's really hard for a man to understand some of the females' problems and responsibilities. And most of the time you'll be overworked and overlooked, and just because you're a woman, you know? Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is the sector of politics. And this one you've witnessed in your lives. And okay, yeah, there's attendance form that people will be given to sign in. Actually, it's the attendance form has already been shared. So you can just and the next thing I want to talk about is politics, of course. And politics tremendous progress to achieve gender equality at both national and local levels. And the 2010 Constitution actually provides that there should be gender balance in politics. And at the national and the local level, women representation should be at least 21% of the parliamentaries in the National Assembly and also the Senate. And also the 2010 Constitution provides for affirmative action for both for gender balance in politics, that is a 2/3 role, gender role, and also which means that not more than 2/3 of the elective or appointive positions in public or private entities shall be of the same gender. As per the current government, sorry, the current government, actually we have less women representation, and that is for the election. I think most women lost. And that is for so many reasons, because as a woman in politics, first of all, you face so many things. You face discrimination, lack of funds, you don't have the same funds as men sometimes. And also you don't have the same psychology. You find that as a woman, you're treated so different. Everything about your life is just put on the spectrum. Don't worry, the link will be taken care of. Sorry about that. Yeah, the current government has an underrepresentation of women, and Nakuru County actually did a very good thing such that almost all the women in leadership in Kiambu, all the leadership positions in Kiambu, most of them are taken up by women. That is the county that had most women in elective positions. And this, not elective positions, but this is the county that elected most women. And if you look at, let's say, Nairobi County, you find that the governor and the deputy and also the senator and from the women rep, like getting the other seats, it's kind of difficult for women, you know, because of, as we've said, there's harassment, there's violence, there's intimidation actually. And if you watched the campaign period, you'll find that women were insulted, some of them were harassed, generally. Like in their homes, they didn't even feel safe. Even after the campaigns, they didn't feel safe because they felt intimidated. And also like the male harassment went to actually even their homes, not even just at their campaigns. They took the war to their homes, and that was really, really, really traumatizing for some of them. Yeah, and I wish that more women actually, and what was actually really lovely about the previous elections that Mepita and most women actually were legit. Okay, that if you billboards, at least there were at least 1 or 2 women competing for the same post as men, and that was really lovely because women are taking up these positions and they are not afraid of just putting out their names out there, and also trying for these positions, even if there's sometimes they feel like they will not get them, but you can never say never. Like, yeah, sometimes you can just try and then you just get it right. Yes. Another thing we need to talk about is cultural practices. And cultural practices in Kenya often discriminate against girls. And these practices are such as the FGM, and also early marriages, and also widow inheritance. So I don't know if I should define FGM. Do you need to define it? I don't know. If you need it to be defined, please just chat us in the box. And then what is really wrong about FGM? It's because it harms the girls and also leads to really health complications, and also some yeah, so these complications includes infections, because some of these equipments that are used, they're no longer reused, and they're just spoiled and then reused again and then reused again. And yeah, so you just get infections, and then there's also complications during childbirth, and then sometimes you can till you die. So FGM is not really nice. It's something that should be actually abolished. And also, you've seen like some cultural practices such as early marriage are really prevalent in Kenya, actually among the pastoral communities, as you said, and find that a girl is booked as early as amezaliwa. And what does that mean for your life? That means that you lack access to education, to healthcare, to work, to financial, to decision making. All that is taken away from you just because you're a girl, you know. Another thing is that the widow inheritance. And this is among the communities in Kenya, I find that if a man dies, the brother inherits you as the wife, or one of the relatives. That was hey, now you're my wife, you know. And this one has led to the spread of HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases, and also gender-based violence. Because if you refuse, and everyone else knows like you're supposed to be someone's wife, it becomes a lot hard for you actually to live there. And sometimes even like you're not even allowed to own any land. Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course, I'll support that. Let's say child marriages. Yeah, of course. That makes more sense. Let's say child marriages, because this, if you're under 18, first of all, you're a child according to the Kenyan Constitution. So you find that if you're married off, if your husband has died, everything that was his is taken from you by the family, so that the house, the land, everything that he had, the family inherits. So what does that mean? You and your kids means that you have nothing, and if you're not inherited, actually you're not able to enjoy those privileges of having somewhere to stay, of having the security for your kids, and having education for your kids. So you find that all these things are taken away from you, and most of them actually are forced to just adhere to these harmful practices because they have nowhere else to go. And yeah, so it becomes hard for them to just move forward. And the other segment shall talk about is healthcare. And we've seen tremendous growth in this sector. Actually, with let's say with NHIF, actually, like women are now able to access healthcare better, and yeah, in a more wider spectrum as compared to the previous years. Because first of all, like it's affordable for some people. As long as you're working, it's affordable. If you're not working, it's not so affordable. And also, like previously, women depended on men for money to go to the hospital. And you find that if you have some cash to pay for the NHIF, now you find that you can just go to the healthcare center near you, and you can also be treated. And also this one shall talk the Linda Mama project by the previous First Lady. These projects actually did a lot of good to women when it came to pregnancies, giving birth, and also clinics for the children. You find that wamama walikuwa wanasaidika sana, because at a very small fee, your kids can be taken care of. You can give birth, and you find that it will reduce so much mortality, maternal mortality, and also infant mortality in Kenya. That was really nice. And I don't know if that program is still in progress. If you know if it's still in progress, you can just inform us. I don't know. So many things have happened. Actually, I don't know if that is the same. And one of the challenges that has been affecting women's access to healthcare is also the cultural and the traditional, because first of all, some women are not allowed to just kutoka tu kwa boma like that and just go, you know, and sometimes the decision making power is not in your hands. So they'll be like, you can sleep one more day, and that one more day you become worse, you know. So it's been a challenge. And also, yeah, as you see, like in some communities, actually, a woman has to seek permission from their husband or a male relative just go. And the delays of seeking this healthcare, you become worse, become sick, and some of them actually die because by the time you are allowed to get help, actually you are dying, you're at your worst. And sometimes these places have no means of transport, so you're supposed to walk to the healthcare clinic, and it's really far and you're really bad off. So this has been a challenge. And also another challenge is the lack of access of infrastructure to the areas, especially the areas of Shago, you know, like, first of all, they're understaffed, the equipment is really old, and the medication sometimes, most of the time, actually, you go there and you're given Piriton, you're given Maramoja, and that is the medicine that is available for all the diseases. No matter what you have, actually, they don't even have the equipment to run to the lab, like run the results for you. So whatever they give you, just explain the symptoms, and then just give you whatever they have. So that has been a challenge in achieving gender equality. Another aspect that I want to highlight is gender-based violence. It's been another aspect that has been, and this is both genders, because both male and female do experience GBV, and you find that women report more than men. So this one I'll not say just because women. Oh, so I want to highlight something. So Mama has been merged with KNHIF. The bad thing is that if you don't have the card, you can't access the services. But if you're pregnant, you want to get pregnant, it's better if you just get the card, because it's more accessible like that. So I was talking about gender-based violence, and this is violence towards a specific gender. And as I've said, females tend to report more. There's so much stereotype when it comes to GBV. Like if you're a man, umepigwa je na mwanamke, but so many men actually do face GBV too. The sad thing is that if you're a man now upigwe, when you go to the police station, how are you going to report this? Without that, that man they will be laughing back at you, like, how were you beaten by a woman? And also this goes also for women too. Like if you're beaten and go to report such a case, if you find a man there or a woman, they'll be like, ulifanya nini? No one wants to know, like, how badly are you? Like the injuries, how bad are they? Or not even how bad, like you should seek help. This one should be reported. This one should be carried forward to the courts. No one is there for that. Everyone is just there for the ridicule. Most of the people are there for ridicule. And I feel like as a society, this is something that should be brought to light more, because actually these injuries lead to long-term health problems, including mental health. If you're beaten so much, first of all, the trauma just makes you a different person. Additionally, if you face GBV and you want to go to the hospital, there's a lot of discrimination and stigma actually from your own family, from your own community, and even from the hospitals themselves. It will be like, if you're not robbed, actually, some people actually do lie, because how are you going to say that you are beaten? So to promote gender equality in healthcare in Kenya, the government needs to include the commitment to increase funding in healthcare services and also implement policies to improve the healthcare of women and girls in the society. We also need to raise awareness and educate communities about gender equality in Kenya and the negative impacts of the harmful cultural practices which are still continuing in the country. And also we need to collaborate so that I believe that together we can do more than when you're a one person party. So in conclusion, what are we saying? We're saying that Kenya has made progress in promoting gender equality, but there's still a long way to go. And the challenges that we've seen, they are cultural, they are gender-based, they are limited to access, opportunities in healthcare, in education, yeah, for women's rights and also girls' rights, and also the collaborations to promote gender equality. And also we need to reinforce and implement these policies and laws promote education and also raising awareness programs for gender equality. Okay, another issue Wycliffe has brought in the chat box is the sexual gender-based violence. There's a lot of justice for most people, and that is true. That is very true. You find that most people actually, they don't know how to report rape cases, most of them. And even sexual harassment, most people don't know like what is sexual harassment, what is rape, like people don't know how to differentiate. Sometimes you're sexually harassed, but you don't know that is what it was. And that is what it was, and it's a crime in Kenya. So I feel like people should just, we should learn more about SGBV because they're different forms, know how you can report them. And also like, I want to talk about rape first of all. I want to say that if you're raped, first of all, you should go to the hospital. Hours. That's one thing you should do. And these 72 hours to make sure that you also try to report, but first go to the hospital because in the hospital you'll be given meds to prevent you from getting HIV and also emergency pills to stop for the pregnancy. And also they'll be able to get some I want to say some evidence, but yeah, some evidence. And also if you've been raped, those clothes you should wrap them. Need a correction. Is it in a newspaper or in a plastic paper bag? I just need correction over there. I don't know. Between the two, forgotten something over there. Yeah. So you should report within 72 hours, seek medical help actually. Make sure that all evidence in your konayo, those clothes in your and everything was done. Make sure many. And also don't shower before going to the hospital. First go to the hospital before showering. You know, ndio unaweza kuwa mchafu, but just don't take a shower because you might be interfering with some of the oh yes, it's in the newspaper. You're supposed to wrap them with the newspaper because like the evidence inapotea. So you should wrap them with the newspaper or a khaki plastic bag. Yeah, ile ya unga, you know, like the brown paper ile ilikuwa nafunganga unga. Actually, those ones are the best actually. And also it's sad that most of the SGBV are from relatives and people that are so close to us that when you try to bring it up, actually your family shuts you up. They'll be like, you want to break the family, but I feel like you come before everything else, because if this perpetrator came after you, nakufikiria family, you shouldn't actually to think about the family first too, because why, you know? Yeah, most people are sworn into silence to just uphold the family's reputation. Okay, so guys, my presentation is done. So I want to thank you for coming in and joining this presentation. And I'm really sorry I was late. I thought I'll be home by a certain time and then I wasn't, but I'm so glad I made it on time. And if you have any questions, if you have any contributions, this is an open platform right now. You can just raise your hand. You can also contribute something in the chat box. Yeah, also there are cases that you just forced to take up the money. Like number two, why sichukue pesa? Because why are you going to court? Because most of these cases actually do take years. And FIDA has been doing some good work. If you just go register your case, and I think there's I can't remember the name of the other agency, but they take up your case. You are a lawyer, and also they take up your case. I'll send the notes in the group. They take up your case and they make sure that you are represented in the court, even if you don't have the money. So don't be pressured to just take money, because most people are told like, why chukua tu pesa, because the case itanda ichukue miaka 10. What will you gain in 10 years? Nothing, you know? So by keeping quiet, actually, you're just enabling that perpetrator. So it's best if you just speak. And also Ruth has a comment. She knows a case that has taken 1 year to even catch the well-known person and nothing has been done. Yeah, this happens a lot. And I'm sorry, this is just about corruption. Most people that have money, they just tend to get away with most things. Gender equality and gender equity is not actually the same thing. Can someone like give us the difference? Anyone?
Hey, okay, so I'll use an example to expound on the difference between equality and equity, and then maybe from there somebody can relate. So I'm going to use the example of a bread. So suppose there's a rich person who, not let me say rich, but somebody who ate breakfast in the morning, and then there's another person who has not eaten since morning, and these two people come looking for food. So if you are to be equal, you will give an equal loaf. Utagawa katikati nusu, you give the one who ate, like you wouldn't put into consideration whether they ate something in the morning or not. But if you are trying to be equitable, you will look into the differences between these people. Utaona kuna mmoja njaa yake ni kubwa na mwingine njaa yake ni kidogo. I don't know if that does explain something. So equity is more of looking into, like you're not just trying to make people equal, you're also looking at, you know, by whatever I'm giving them, will it make them equal really? But with equality, it's just like providing an equal chance. It's 50-50. Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, so gender equality actually is sameness, but equity is fairness. Gender equality, it promotes fairness and justice, you know, by giving everyone the same thing, like hakuna discrimination. So if, let's say, if everyone starts, okay, but it can only work if like everyone starts from the same place. Let's, for example, in this example, equality only works if everyone is the same, like has the same. Let me go to equity, then I see if I can be able to differentiate it very well. The language is a bit tricky. So equality is about making sure that people get access to the same opportunities. Equality was like the same thing. Sisi wote tunapata mkate. But equity, sisi wote tunapata hizi barriers zoko katikati and our differences. Okay, sometimes the differences or history can create barriers to participation. So, so we must first ensure equity before we can enjoy equality. So tuseme sisi wote we are the same height. Let's go with the height thing. So we're in the same height. Alafu tumepost to the same height too. You know? Tunafaa kuwatch something huko hivyo kwa ground. So find that, yeah, you've given the same thing, you're the same people, and there's still some space to be filled. But equality, you make sure that huyu mrefu kabisa na huyu mfupi kabisa amepewa opportunities zinazofanya afikie huyu mrefu kabisa. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. Like if your equity is just enabling, I feel like it's more of enabling. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. And Sylvain say gender equality thinks that it's to ensuring both genders, male and female, get the equal treatment, rights, and opportunities. Yes, I think that's also a good explanation. Any other comment? Marv, do you want to tell us something about inequality?
Okay, can I say something?
Oh, yes, you can.
I think equity is just about respecting all people without discrimination, regardless of their gender, age, or what. But equality is more of balancing. We need to, it's more of, let's say, for example, we're talking about the issues that women face are a lot. We need to balance both men and women depending on politics, job, employment. It's more of balance when it comes to equality. But when it comes to equity, it is just everybody, respect without discrimination to everybody, regardless of age, gender, race. But equality, that is equity. But equality is just about balance. We need to balance the both female and male, at least they be in the same ratio. Thank you.
Hello, a quick one.
Okay.
Yes. Equality, to me, equality is just giving the same thing, the same amount, the same people. We get everything equally. If it is 20, kila mtu anapata 20. Equity is a distribution based on the needs and what is rightfully belongs to a certain people, a certain group. So it is, you are right, despite the gender and the race or the color. So that is equity, getting what is rightfully yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, first I want to recognize someone. Her name is Marvel, and she's the secretary of the Leo cabinet. And she's as your president, but she's now the boss of us. And I'll want to recognize her presence. And maybe Marvelous, you can tell us something. I don't know if you can share, if she can hear me, but let's just continue before she gives her her view. So Farida is saying that equity is about fairness and being impartial. For example, the private and the public sector in terms of jobs for both male and female in the same position should have the same income, while equity, being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. I don't know if that is much. I don't know. Like I feel like everyone has a clue of what both of them are and how to differentiate them. But both of them work together to ensure that women representation is achieved at a better percentage. So and also actually Rwanda has done a good thing. You find that most politicians in Rwanda are women. When they've achieved a very high percentage of women representation in politics, and that country is doing very well. Do you have another comment? Okay, so if we don't have anything else to add, I'd like to conclude today's session. I hope that the issue about signing the attendance has already been taken care of.
How? Do we, I've not seen how it has been done.
Okay, let me try to reshare it. Just a minute.
Can I say something, Esther?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, I want to add on what you said about culture. From where I come from, they still like very strongly believe that women cannot inherit land. And every time there's a function, I'm the firstborn daughter and my follower is a boy, but he's always been the first to be called in that they recognize him than me. It's like taking away my birthright and giving it to him because they say the firstborn is the boy and is the one to speak and do everything and spearhead everything. So when it comes even to property, the boy is given and you're left out and you're told to go and get married. It has actually happened to me on my face. And they would even tell me, my siblings, my brothers would tell me to go and get married because I'm not married. And I would see bias. Even I lost my father, now I have my mother, but sometimes I feel she's biased because she would give, like now she gave my brother land and she never gave me, and there are those that my father said that he should have, but by word of mouth. But her, she puts her sons first before girls, and when the girls have money, she would lean on them for money, but in her properties and her priorities, she would always give the son. It is happening, it's down here. So I would say gender equality for women is still very far, especially to homes, cultures. We still have to go a long way, because even at home, even my uncles would recognize my brother than me, and I'm the eldest. They recognize that even in giving birth, when you give birth to a son, you are more recognized than when you're giving birth to girls, because you're like, you haven't given a son, now what will happen? It's still rooted. I think we should do a lot of advocacy on that, and it should be like pushed, because the rights of women are still very far from being recognized. Because as you said, even the ladies who are politicians, they're still suffering until today. Those who won the elections, they looked down upon them. They left their jobs. They started campaigning. They campaigned and campaigned. There was a lot of looting and stealing. They stole their votes. Okay, there are those that never won the votes fairly, but some are lawyers, but they are looked down upon because they are women and they took politics. It's still very far from like achieving the goal of the right of a woman in the society, and we are the ones who play the highest role, because we bear kids, we raise them, we are always with the kids. They learn their mother tongue from us, they learn everything from us, because the men are not always at home, but we kind of pay the price of being a woman in the society. Is still intact, and I guess we need to do more advocacy on that. That is my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On the issue of advocacy, I feel like we need to include men more, because sometimes male feel like we are taking up their spaces, and all we just want is just to share, to show them that when we are sharing, we make the society a better place. You can lean on me as a woman to help you at a later date, So I feel like we should, in this advocacy, let's not just include women in this discussion. I feel like we should also have men, to ensure that they also understand the advantages of having women in those positions, having those opportunities, having the same everything, because I feel like most people misunderstood, actually they misunderstood women empowerment and also gender equality and equity. They feel like, they just want an easy way out. No, it's not about wanting the easy way out, especially like the older men. They don't really they don't understand. They're not willing to understand. So I feel like it's up to us to just include them in the discussions and show them that it's a better society when everyone is given the equal opportunities, is given a voice, and is given the same position. Yes. Thank you guys very much. I've shared a new link. It's not really, I've not really written much on it. You can just write your phone number and your name. Just because the other link, I don't have access to it too. The one who created it, I cannot be reached at the moment. And you can just, nimeshare hapo juu. Let me just reshare it for the sake of those who have not signed. Make sure you sign. Okay, guys, thank you very much for attending today's session. Yes.
Allow me to say something, please.
Okay. Hello, Caroso.
Yes. Now, something I wanted to say is that I know there is a lot of discussion that really is going on, especially on the girl child. Given that what a colleague just shared there, that when you have girls, it really becomes that it becomes a challenge. But now, like currently there are practices that also that are being fueled by the women. They say goes around that the enemy of a woman is another woman. So I will feel that as much as we the men are just trying to give this space, also it will be very good for us, for our sisters to also act in decorum, also act in ways that are good. And I will speak especially to those married, that sometimes how you handle your husband or your partner really plays a key role, because now your girl here will either respect or actually are not respect. And there are also things that we are coming up. We are saying that this is what I want to. The separation that we want a girl to do this and we want a boy to do this. If we just have equity, for me, I don't like advocating more of equality, but advocating more of equity, having that level, a free ground whereby now everyone needs to take their chances. If it's employment, let us just do the employment on merit. Let us not also look and say that this is a girl, this is a boy, because once we go again to that direction, it actually becomes a big problem. Men needs respect. Men also needs that respect, that love, that honor, because of the big place that a woman plays. You see, it's only a woman who can tell two men stop fighting, and then they stop fighting without using any weapon. But if it's a man who comes in between, that the man needs to use a weapon. So that shows that there is a lot of love, and there is a lot of respect, and there is a lot of honor on a woman. So that is for me actually what I really feel, that if we show this good example, we avoid even actually at home. There are even says that you hear uyo mwalimu mwanamke, uyo sijui that mwanamke. You see those stereotypes, they really water down a lot of efforts that probably the men and the other people in the society are trying to do, so that we bring up the girl up. How are we going to reward our girl? How are we going to allow them? Do we have the laws that are strong for them to inherit things? And currently, let me ask even the ladies here that if for heaven's sake your husband dies, do you inherit? Do you inherit land? Do you inherit what your husband has? Do you inherit property? That is where the discussion should actually start. Are we writing also wills? That are the wills there that this my girl gets this, my son gets this, and then the like. So that is for me what I will feel like it will really help. Last but not least, also let us also encourage our girls to take up positions, not wait to be given.
Thank you very much for
Is not to be given, not to be told, you go and do this. Let us give them a challenge that do this, and that one will help us. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you very much, Koroso. I feel like we have so much to say, and time is almost running over. Also, let's do this. Let's continue the conversation on social media platforms. We have Twitter, and also we have Facebook. We can continue the conversations over there, and that would be really nice. Thank you guys for making the time today, and I really enjoyed having this session with each and every one of you. Thank you for being good listeners, and thank you for contributing. As for me, I want to say good night, and let's meet for tomorrow's session. Thank you very much, and let's have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Yeah, Ruth, people should just write wills instead of passing blessings and curses through mouth, and also passing land through mouth. Yeah. Okay, welcome. Let's have a good night.